All right, let's get started this afternoon. We are now live on YouTube. I am going to ask for announcements other than please from anyone who is ready to make an announcement. Other than a plea, I see Mr. McPherson. Do you have an announcement? You're on mute, Mr. McPherson.
Sorry. Yes, I have 33 through 37, Matthew Riddle.
All right, 33 through 37. That's CR 2110-409. H, CR 2110-408, H, CR 2110-407, H, CR 2110-410, H, CR 2112-574, H, State of Texas versus Matthew Dillon Riddle. Your announcement?
He's been found not competent. We had a hearing in the 332nd last Friday. They reset the case to February the 25th at 9:30. They would like to release the defendant to his mother. I gave him his mother's phone number, but he thinks I'm jerking him around. Anyhow, if his mother's in court, she would like to give him her phone numbers in hopes that he'll call her, because she can't visit with him in the jail because of the coronavirus.
Okay, let me see if I can, she is here. Let me see if I can get the computer logged on really quickly. I think you can just bear with me on this announcement. Oh, Carlos is going to work with us here. Okay, and Mr. McPherson, you're stating that he just wants to talk with her, or?
She just wants to give him her phone number because he doesn't believe me when I give it to him.
Okay, Sheriff, do you have something to write with there so that Mr. Riddle's mom can give you the number? Sheriff, do you have something there?
Yes, I do, Judge.
Perfect, thank you. All right, ma'am, I'm going to mute myself so that Carlos, you can go ahead and turn on your microphone so we don't have any interference, and that way she can speak.
Matthew, this is Mom, mijo. I changed my phone number because I lost the phone. It's 416-9238. Please, whatever you do, mijito, call me. I need to speak to you, okay? We're trying to get you out of here. 416-9238. Yes, sir.
All right, now that we've muted that, I think we don't have any interference, Mr. McPherson. That being the case, I guess, what's next?
And I guess to reset it to maybe February 26th or right after our felony hearing to see if we can get this worked out. If we can work it out sooner, I'll contact the court.
Okay, can I give you March the 1st? And if you can work it out sooner, you call me? You call us?
Yes, March the 1st.
Yes, March 1st
Yes.
at 2 o'clock.
Very good. That's all I have. May I be excused? My client and I.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Reyes.
Yes, Judge. Number 32, Ricardo Ramos, jail case.
Yes, sir. CR 2112-960H, Ricardo Ramos Jr. I understand that there's a felony motion to adjudicate pending And is that correct?
That's correct, Judge. And there's another felony set for February the 9th. So I'm asking for a date after February the 9th.
Can I give you February the 10th?
That's good, Judge.
February the 10th at 2 o'clock.
Real good.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Aguirre, what do you have?
Your Honor, I have number 11 through 16 on the court's docket. Martin Lopez.
That's 10 through 16.
He-
And that is State of Texas versus Martin Lopez, who's in custody. Your announcement on 10 through 16.
Your Honor, I discussed with the state. I wanted to see if I could do an oral motion for bond reduction on these cases. These bonds are fairly high. He's been in custody, I think by my count, 34 days. They're all misdemeanors. There was another case, Your Honor, we were not appointed to. I think I emailed your staff.
Yeah, we appointed you. I think that's number 10.
Okay, is that the CR 220174H?
Yes, yes, correct.
Okay, okay, just making sure, Your Honor, because
So yeah, so now you're on all of them.
perfect.
Okay, so we've got, let me just look at it real quick. So we've got burglary of a vehicle that occurred on or about December 29th and the 22nd and the 21st. So at least the arrest date are different. Did they occur out of different days?
I think they were charged on different days, Your Honor, or I think they made the PC affidavit on one and then they submitted subsequent ones. I don't know the offense dates. I haven't.
And then we
I
have
just got this case. So
yeah, we have a DWI out of 2019.
I believe the PR bond is still active on that one. I did not see a verification of incarceration.
Okay, perfect. So that's a PR bond is still open. So. Okay, and you're asking for a bond reduction.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, as I said, these are nonviolent offenses. He has been in for 34 days. Some of these bonds are, I think they're excessive for BOV. $5,000 on some of them, and one of them for $15,000. That just seems excessive, the amount of bonds that he has, given that they're all misdemeanors.
Yeah. And since we're on YouTube, let me just go on the record and say that they seem excessive, except unless you're the guy that got the car broken window and stuff taken from the vehicle.
But I don't think it's going to be $5,000 worth of damages, Judge.
No, but still, I mean, if that happened to you, I'm sure you would be thinking to yourself, what do you mean $5,000 is excessive?
No, I understand that, Judge. And if I were their lawyer, I'd be arguing differently, but I'm his lawyer.
So yeah. And that's why we all play a role in this.
Yes, sir.
So now let me hear from the other side of the person that plays the role on the other end of the coin.
Judge, I have been in discussions with defense counsel. We had a discussion yesterday about these bonds. I did let him know, and I took into consideration the 34 days that he spent in custody, and I let him know that I wouldn't be opposed to a $2,000 cash or surety bond on each. However, I would be opposed to PR bonds given the amount of cases that he picked up, Judge, and the fact that I actually want to work these cases out sooner rather than later. I know previously on the DWI, it's been pending for so long because there was an issue about the immigration courts and he had immigration settings. But now we have 6 or 7 cases before us, Judge, and restitution amounts are starting to come in. So we're ready to plea out if possible, Judge. So again, I would agree to $2,000 cash surety. However, I'd be opposed to a PR bond.
Mr. Aguirre?
Well, Your Honor, I mean, it doesn't have to be just completely one or the other. It could be a combination of the two. The whole idea of the bonds is to have him appear before the court. And I think there is a way of doing that, with
Did
AIP.
he ever fail to appear on the DWI? Let me take a
Your
look.
Honor, I just got these cases last week, so I would have to.
He was always present? Okay, that helps him, definitely helps. Never missed. Is he, does he have status? Mr. Aguirre?
I have no idea, Your Honor. I know I did look on Odyssey, and I believe the state did as well. I did not see any detainers.
All right, Mr. Lopez, are you a U.S. citizen?
Oh, he's muted.
No, sir.
You are not, you,
I was supposed to have quorum February the 1st.
I'm sorry, you were supposed to have what?
I was supposed to have quorum February 1st on immigration so I can get my residency.
Okay, so you are not a US citizen at this time.
No, sir.
Gotcha. Okay. Look, it goes a long way, Mr. Lopez, and you don't have to answer anything because I'm just going to speak. It goes a long way that you had a pending case and that you appeared and that you showed up. That really does go a long way. Apparently, based on our records, you were never absent. So for that reason, the court's going to go ahead and reduce all bonds except a PR bond, that'll stay the same, to $1,000 cash or surety. Okay, so all of them will be reduced to $1,000 cash or surety.
And Judge, as a condition of bond, if he were to get out, we would be requesting AIP as a condition of bond, Judge.
Again, Your Honor, I think that was the cost I was trying to avoid. That's why I was asking for a PR bond, because he's going to be paying for
Yeah,
AIP.
the court will not impose that sanction at this time. It will be $1,000 cash or surety. So he's looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he needs $600 because he has a PR bond. So $600 with a bondsman, which is approximately 10%. If he's able to make that, great. I'm still going to give him the same reset date, which will be a short reset date, just in case he doesn't make that bond. I want to make sure that we see him again relatively quickly, because there's no guarantee that he'll make it.
On the MTR, you had given him February 24th as a reset date at 9:30. Not sure if you want to keep that in.
That's on which one?
Like on the MTR, and then he picked up the new one.
Which is the MTR? Okay, no, that one's going to change. So he'll still keep the PR bond, but I'm going to give him a quicker date. Let's give him February the 1st or the 3rd, whatever works better for you, Mr. Aguirre. I'm assuming he's not going to make the bond and he's going to stay in.
Yes, Your Honor. February 3rd actually would probably work better.
February 3rd at 2 o'clock. Okay, so Mr. Lopez, whether you make bond or you don't, if you don't, obviously we'll see each other on February 3rd. If you do make bond, you need to reach out to Mr. Aguirre, and we need to see each other on a Zoom call on February 3rd. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. So if you make bond and you get out, then I need to see you. And if you don't have access to a computer, that's where reaching out to Mr. Aguirre as soon as you get out is going to be the most important thing you do, okay?
Yes, sir.
The thing that helped you today is that you've never missed one of my court dates, okay?
Yes, yes,
And
sir.
that's why, even though the state was asking and agreeing to a $2,000 cash or surety bond, I reduced it even further to $1,000, because like your lawyer said, the bonds are only used to try to make sure that you appear, and you've done that. So for that reason, I am going to reduce it down to $1,000 cash or surety.
Your Honor.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Did I get anything else? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I do have another case on the docket. It's number 47, Your Honor, but I believe Dan Mota was going to be substituting in.
I do see Mr. Mora that he did log on. Was that number 37?
47, Your Honor.
Oh, 47.
Louis Peter Velasquez.
Louis Peter Velasquez, CR 21-11-830H. Was this was a, didn't we have a competency issue with Mr. Velasquez?
Yes, Judge, we're just
Not
waiting
sure.
on the final report from Dr. Pina. I was in contact with him. He stated that he would get me the report sooner rather than later. But I did finally make contact with him about that report, Judge.
Well, Your Honor, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mota, I don't know if he's subbing in or if you filed a motion, I have no idea.
Yes, Judge, I filed a motion also, and I also filed a motion to either set a bond or reduce bond on this matter.
All right. Okay, so let me go ahead at this time, Mr. Aguirre. You and the Public Defender's Office are relieved of your duties for Mr. Velasquez, and Mr. Mora will be substituting in. Now let's take up the issue of the bond. He currently has $1,000 cash or surety. He's been in custody for 111 days. Is Mr. Velasquez, I know that when we were speaking with him, he's homeless, or at least he was at one point. But obviously you got retained, Mr. Mora, so obviously he must have family at some point or somewhere.
He does. He has a brother that's there's a brother that is, I'm not going to say is his guardian, but pretty much looks after him. And this is just an ongoing deal. Judge, I'd asked for a PR bond straight out and get him released.
Yeah, it's a class B. It's been pending for 111, or he's been in jail for 111 days. I have no problem as long as, this case is, he's not going to just disappear on us, and then we're never going to, I mean, if you have contact with the family has contact with you, 111 days on a class B. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a PR bond, if that's what you're requesting.
Yes, Judge, I'm asking for a PR bond pending any results, and I'll get with his brother and we'll try to get him. He does as much as he can to make sure he attends his appointments and things like that.
I know this one, Mr. Garcia, you may have an objection, but this one's been pending for quite some time. It's not like.
No, Judge, I will. So just some backstory for the court's memory, Judge. This is a case where the defendant has previously been found incompetent to stand trial. And so when he would get arrested, the reports generally last, I believe it's a year, if I'm not mistaken. And we were already at 16 or 18 months since his last evaluation. That was the reason why we wanted to evaluate him again. I wouldn't be opposed, given that he has a brother that looks after him, I wouldn't be opposed to a PR bond, especially because he spent so much time in custody. And at this point, Judge, we're just waiting on that report. And then once we receive the report, we'll decide how to proceed on the case. But at this point, that's all we're waiting on, Judge.
All right, court will go ahead and grant a $1,000 cash, PR bond. It's a $1,000 cash or surety. We'll turn that into $1,000 PR. All right, and let me give you a reset date, Mr. Mora. I'm thinking mid-February, maybe 30 days down the road. What do you think, Mr. Mora?
That's fine, Judge. And that way, maybe I can get the family member to also get in contact. I know Dr. Pena was doing the evaluation, but I think we can kind of help along with that.
February 24th at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, I guess Mr. Velasquez may not understand, but you'll speak to his family.
I will, Judge. I'll make sure he gets picked up. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I be excused as well?
You may. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Mr. Davila.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on number 24, Jesus Alejandro Morales.
All right, number 24, CR 22-00500H, Jesus Alejandro Morales.
Please come in, Judge.
All right, your announcement, Mr. Davila.
Judge, I wanted to see if it'd be possible. I did file a motion for bond reduction. I wanted to see if we could get a PR bond in this case. I did want to let the court know he does have a fugitive warrant out of Pecos County, but I have been in touch with their county attorney's office, and I anticipate that case is going to be resolved in the next day or two.
What says the state?
That is correct, Judge. I have been in contact with defense counsel. We did discuss a PR bond. I am not currently opposed to give him some time to be able to go and take care of that POM. And then he can take care of this case once that's resolved. So I have no oppositions, Judge.
All right, court will go ahead and grant a $2,500 PR bond and reset this case for 30 days to February 24th, 2022 at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. Might be excused.
Yes, sir. Mr. Morales, the court's granting you a PR bond. Stay in contact with your lawyer. We'll see you on February 24th at 2 o'clock via Zoom. So make sure that you have access to a computer, okay? All right. Anything else, Mr. Davila?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Arispe.
Yes, Your Honor, number 30 on the court's docket.
30. CR 21-14-238H, State of Texas versus Luis Perez.
Yes, Your Honor, he is in custody.
Is this a motion to reduce bond?
It is a motion to reduce bond, Judge. My client has, I believe, a total of 3 cases arising out of the same transaction, Judge. The last I spoke to him, he was being held in Stark County. We're asking for the court's consideration, reducing his bond to either $1,000 cash or surety or a PR bond, judge, with no harmful contact with the victims. I believe the victims are his family members, judge. He does have a pending aggravated assault on family member that I'm also filing a motion to reduce bond on. And I believe there's a possession of controlled substance. I'm not sure if it's a felony or misdemeanor. I was showing it as a felony. He is not a US citizen, judge. I did not see a hold on him the last time I checked. I don't know if there's a hold on him now, judge.
I can almost guarantee you I know the response from Mr. Garcia. But I want to hear it.
Judge, at this time, I'm opposed to any bond reductions whatsoever, given the fact that this is a violent offense. There's a pending felony violent offense as well, Judge. And there's also a pending felony drug offense. There are also one previous arrest. It was an evading in 2019. The felony is already ready for grand jury, Judge. And the fact that they haven't reduced their bond, I would be opposed to any reductions, Judge. And then furthermore, again, this is an assault. So PR bonds are not allowed on assaults. I believe that is codified law, if I'm not mistaken. I would wait. I would propose that we wait for the felony, Judge, and if they reduce their bond, then at that point, I'd take it into consideration. But at this time, I am opposed.
I tend to agree, Ms. Arispe. I was just going to suggest that, but I knew what Mr. Garcia was going to say. I have no problem considering a bond, but I don't have the facts of the felony, and I'd rather that a felony DA review that bond, that writ that you most likely are filing in the district court. And if they agree to a bond reduction or a PR bond, then I have no problem following suit. But at this point, I don't have enough information. And given the fact that he doesn't have any status in the United States, given the fact that he has prior history, I think that the best course of action is to wait. And let me check to see, did you say you already filed the motion for a bond reduction?
Judge, I had filed it at the JP level, Judge.
Okay.
So I was doing that first before I did the writ.
Okay. And have you gotten any response or any dates or?
We did make contact with the court. They were looking at it because they knew the case was in intake and they were under the belief that it had already been indicted. I just couldn't find a cost number on it, Judge.
It looks like he already has an immigration hold.
Okay,
So,
he does?
yeah. Okay, that kind of makes everything much easier to at least feel like, okay, well, there's not much, I got my hands tied.
That's correct, Judge.
Let me go ahead and give you a reset date for 2 weeks down the road. 2 weeks down the road will put us at about February the 15th. The 8th, February the 8th is 2 weeks? All right, February the 8th.
At 2 o'clock, Your Honor?
At 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May we be excused? My client is in the present.
Yes, y'all are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Garza,
Good afternoon, Judge.
good afternoon.
I have number 31, 32, and 33. Apologize, Judge. 3, 4, and 5 on your docket.
All right. That's Ruben Jimenez Gonzalez Jr.
Judge, he's under quarantine.
I understand he's in quarantine. And we've given a reset date for, or is that him? He's not in quarantine.
That's him, Judge.
Oh, okay. All right, not in quarantine. Okay, let me get his announcement from you. CR 2106-537H, CR 2110-601H, and CR 2110-600H. State of Texas versus Ruben Jimenez Gonzalez Jr.
Your Honor, we've almost got this case worked out. The thing that we had asked, or we'll have to be asking a little time, is that there was one of the case pending. Mr. Garcia had sent me the plea paperwork for 2, but there was another one we finally figured out. Yeah, there was another case. The other thing is he is being housed in Brooks County, so it's a little harder to get him down here until I request him. I'm asking if the court would just give me a date, and if the court could accommodate us with a date next week. I don't know if the court has a jail case docket on Thursday. I don't
Thursday
know.
or next Thursday?
Next Thursday, Judge, next Thursday.
Would that be the 3rd?
Yes, Your Honor.
I can give you the 3rd.
Just so that way we can get all the paperwork. I can have him be brought down from Brooks, and we have to do it from 8 to 5.
No problem. Let's do February 3rd, 2:00.
And I appreciate the afternoon. Thanks, Judge.
No problem. February 3rd, 2:00.
So if Mr. Garcia just gets me the plea paperwork on the other one, we got one more. Mr. Garcia, you send me to?
Yes, and I'll send over all the paperwork all together, and then there was another matter that I wanted to discuss with you. I'll give you a call after docket.
Will do. Will do. Okay. May I be excused, Your Honor? That is all I have before this court.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Garcia, you have a plea, correct?
Yes, Judge, it was a carryover from this morning's docket.
That is for Annette Fuentes, correct?
Yes, Judge, it was number 23 on this morning's docket.
Perfect. All right, let me go ahead and call that case because I think the rest of my announcements are pleas. So we'll go ahead and start with Annette Fuentes. Where's Miss Fuentes? Let me see if I can have, can I just hear you test your microphone?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. It works. Be ready to mute and unmute yourself, Miss Fuentes, okay?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Barbosa, what case do you have?
Oh, I apologize, Your Honor. I have a plea. I'll stand by.
No, I'm taking pleas right now.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. I have number 48, number 49, Jose Alonso, and he is signed on as iPhone.
Okay, Jose Alonso. Are we going to be playing out on both of them?
No, Judge, just the DWI.
Okay, the other one will be dismissed as part of the plea?
Correct, Judge.
Dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect, thank you. Non-jail, Mr. Jose Alonso. And Mr. Alonso, can you just say something so I can make sure your microphone is working?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Do you need does he speak English, Ms. Barbosa?
He does, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. Non-jail, be right with you, okay?
Okay.
All right, who else do I have that has a plea today? Ms. Evans?
I have one, but he's non-jail.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, non-jail is fine.
It is number 53, Judge.
53. And that's Anthony Michael Vargas. Is Mr. Anthony Michael Vargas present?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Vargas. I see you there. All right. So I have just three pleas then. Jose Guadalupe Alonso, Anthony Vargas, and Annette Fuentes. Are those my only three pleas I have today, Jose?
That is, I believe that's correct, Judge. Let me just double check. It's Annette Fuentes, Anthony Vargas, Jose Alonso. That's it, Judge.
All right, perfect. All right, so Mr. Jose Guadalupe Alonso, you're going to be the first one to answer all my questions, followed by Mr. Anthony Michael Vargas, and finally Annette Fuentes. You'll be the last one to answer all of my questions. So listen carefully. If I can have all of you please raise your right hand, and if I can have Ms. Fuentes please turn on her camera. Do each of you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I'll start with Jose Guadalupe Alonso.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Followed by Anthony Michael Vargas.
Yes, sir.
And finally, Annette Fuentes. Yeah, you're on mute now.
Can you hear me there?
Yes.
Yes. I do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You may all lower your hand. Ms. Del Bosque, you just logged on. I just want to make sure that you do not have a plea before we get started.
No, Your Honor. No, I do not have a plea. I have a jail case.
Okay, is it just an announcement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, let me go ahead and take care of that so you can get on with your day. What name?
You. Juan Morales, Your Honor, number 17 through 23.
All right, that's Juan Morales, number 17 through 23 on the court's docket. Is your announcement, Ms. Del Bosque?
Your Honor, on this particular matter, I've been discussing the cases with the prosecutor, Mr. Heller, and I believe at this time they're requesting that he be screened. I have not had an opportunity to discuss that with my client, Your Honor. I believe that he would prefer to take a plea to either time served or I think he has enough time already for credit, Judge, but we just need a little more time to work this out and get it resolved.
Hey, how about next week?
Judge, just to verify, I'd like to verify with probation if he's been screened for SATF. And if not, if we could set up a screening for him for SATF.
I can check. Give me 1 second.
And just to refresh the court's memory, this is the individual that was on drug court, or was placed on drug court, but did not show up, Judge. And then he subsequently picked up, I believe it was 1 or 2 new possession of inhalant charges.
That's correct, Judge.
He has not been screened.
And at this time, our request is that he be screened for SATF, Judge. Some of these are MTRs, others are new cases. At this time, I'm opposed to time served, or what we can do is work on a package deal where we time serve a few and keep him on probation for the others. But all of it is just contingent on the SATF screening, Judge.
Okay, how long does that take, Victoria, the SATF screening? How long? He's in custody. How long would it take?
About 2 weeks, Judge.
So a reset for 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and do February the 10th
What time, Your Honor?
at 2 o'clock.
Very well.
All right, February 10th, 2022 at 2 for all his cases. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cases. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. And the SATF, is that the local
Yes,
outpatient?
yes,
Okay.
local. Inpatient,
Very
but
well.
local.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
right.
That's all I have before this honorable court. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. So we've now sworn in everybody on the pleas. Let's go ahead and call CR 21094488, State of Texas versus Jose Guadalupe Alonso. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Alonso, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor. In CR
All right, sir.
2108093H, State of Texas versus Anthony Michael Vargas. Sir, is that your true and correct name? You're on mute, sir.
Yes, sir. That is my name.
Thank you, sir. You're here before the court charged with the offense of possession of marijuana, less than 2 ounces, also a Class B misdemeanor. Let me advise you, Mr. Vargas, and you, Mr. Alonso, that Class B misdemeanors carry a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you both understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class B misdemeanor? I'll start with Mr. Alonso
Yes, sir.
and Mr. Vargas.
Yes, I understand.
Thank you.
I understand.
We're here in CR 21051138H, State of Texas versus Annette Fuentes. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes. Yes,
Ms.
it is,
Fuentes-
Your Honor.
Ms. Fuentes, you're here before the court charged with the offense of assault causing bodily injury. That is a Class A misdemeanor. I need to advise you that a Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury, but you can waive one or both of those rights by signing a document. Did each of you have an opportunity to review a document with your attorney before signing it? I'll start with Mr. Alonso.
Yes, sir.
How about Mr. Vargas
Yes, sir.
and Ms. Fuentes?
With the attorney's legal aid, I did. I haven't spoken to my attorney.
All right. You were able to talk to Mr. Garcia's assistant in reviewing those documents before you signed them?
Yes.
And
Well,
were
I
they
was-
explained to you?
Yes, they were.
Okay. Did all of you understand that when you signed that document, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Did you understand that you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? I'll start with Mr. Alonso.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vargas
Yes, sir.
and Ms. Fuentes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will go ahead and accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? I'll start with Mr. Alonso.
Yes, sir.
Okay, a court has declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
No, I'm good, sir. Like, I don't know. I don't understanding too much English. Can you
Okay,
put me in Spanish, please?
all right, Carlos. Do you mind explaining to him if any court has ever declared him to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
¿Alguna corte alguna vez lo ha declarado mentalmente incompetente o que diga que está loco, señor?
No.
No.
How about you, Mr. Vargas?
No, but I do have history of mental health, but never been, I guess, brought up in court.
And do you understand the nature of the charges that are filed against you? And have you been able to visit with Ms. Evans about your case?
Yes.
And you understand the nature of the proceedings, correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. How about you, Ms. Fuentes? Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
No.
Thank you. Counsel, and speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent, able to assist you in their own defense? I'll start with Ms. Barbosa.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Alonso is mentally competent and he was able to assist in his defense.
Ms. Evans
Same announced on behalf of Mr. Vargas, Your Honor.
and Mr. Garcia.
Same announcement for Ms. Fuentes, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all the defendants before the court are all mentally competent. They're all able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do you each understand that if the punishment that I assess, if that punishment does not exceed what is recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. Alonso?
Yes, sir. Monday.
All right. How about Mr. Vargas
Yes.
and Ms. Fuentes?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you all further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Do you understand that, Mr. Alonso?
Señor Alonso, entiende que la corte no tiene que aceptar la recomendación del fiscal. ¿Sí entiendes?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Vargas
Yes, sir.
and Ms. Fuentes.
Yes, Your Honor.
At this time, I must ask each of you, are you U.S. citizens? I'll start with Mr. Jose Guadalupe Alonso.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm citizen.
Okay. Mr. Anthony Michael Vargas
Yes, sir. I am a U.S. citizen.
and Ms. Annette Fuentes.
Yes, I am.
All right. Mr. Jose Guadalupe Alonso, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
¿Está declarando culpable voluntariamente, señor? ¿Perdón?
Sí, soy culpable.
Yes, I'm guilty.
Oh, yes, but are you pleading guilty freely and
culpable.
voluntarily?
Sí, pero se está declarando culpable voluntariamente.
Is anyone forcing?
Sí, pues sí, tuve la culpa yo.
Yes, well, I was at fault.
Okay. Mr. Anthony Michael Vargas, to the offense of possession of marijuana, less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Annette Fuentes, to the offense of assault, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yeah. Yes.
Court's going to go ahead and accept everyone's pleas as being freely and voluntarily given. I'll call for state's evidence at this time.
State offers plea documents and offense report to State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right to appeal, State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures, State's Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment at State's Exhibit 4. State would request the defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. State would further request defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate today's pleas of guilty.
All right. I'll start with Ms. Barbosa.
Yes, Your Honor, there are no objections. We accept all the evidence as has been submitted and accept the waivers, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Evans
Same announcement, Judge, on behalf of Mr. Vargas.
and Mr. Garcia.
Same announcement, Judge, on behalf of Ms. Fuentes.
There being no objection, state's exhibits are all hereby admitted in CR 21094488H. State of Texas versus Jose Guadalupe Alonso. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is $100 fine, court cost, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail probated for 1 year, an alcohol education program, 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, a mobile device for 6 months, a MAD impacts panel, and restitution in the amount of $4,314.16 to Roel Esparza, and in exchange for this plea, Judge, we will be tendering a dismissal in CR 21-09-449H.
Questions or requests, Ms. Barbosa?
Yes, Your Honor, requesting that you follow the court follow the recommendation by the state. His request is for any consideration on his administrative suspension and also for any credit on the mobile device and the interlock device. I believe he's had it on since before October of last year.
Is this his first DWI, just that an accident occurred or what?
Yes, Your Honor, it is a
Yes,
Class
Judge.
B.
All right. And he's had it on for how many months?
I showed it. I have an order where it was modified from interlock to mobile device back in October 29th of 2021.
Okay, no issues, Victoria, that we're seeing? No admonishments, nothing like that?
I'm checking, Judge. Give me 1 minute.
It was, no, 20 total. Yeah. So while we work on that, Ms. Barbosa, I'm going to go ahead and give him 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court costs. I'm going to run the 90-day Texas driver license suspension concurrent with the administrative suspension.
Your Honor, could we also have a restitution here? And I apologize for not having asked, but the restitution amount was almost $5,000. I'm sorry, $4,314. We could have a restitution hearing.
Okay,
And Judge, no violations.
all right. All right, February 15th for the restitution date. At 9:30, Ms. Barbosa, February 15th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, if defense counsel is going to be asking for a restitution hearing on the plea paperwork, can we just clarify and write down that the restitution is in CR 21-09-449H?
Yes, we will go ahead and do that. What was the total amount again?
It was $4,314.16.
$4,314.16.
Yes, Judge.
Gotcha. On the accident. That one's going to be dismissed. All right, since he has had no violations on the mobile device, the court's going to go ahead and waive that. This is first DWI as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we do need a phone number from Mr. Alonso.
Yes. 258-956 258-5423.
956-258-5423.
Thank you. Our intake department will be calling in about 5 business days.
Alguien de
Okay.
la oficina de probation la va a llamar en esos próximos 5 días.
Okay, señor. Está bien.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business for this most honorable court. May be excused.
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
In CR 21-08-093H, State of Texas versus Michael Vargas. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court cost, 4 months deferred adjudication, and a drug education course.
Questions or requests?
No, Judge, we just ask that you follow the state's recommendation.
I'll give him 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court cost. The rest of the recommendation I will follow. Mr. Vargas, we do need a phone number from you.
It would be 956-599-1127.
Thank you. Our intake department will be calling you in about 5 business days.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Thank you so much. You and Ms. Evans are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
In CR 21-05-113H, State of Texas versus Annette Fuentes. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation for Ms. Fuentes?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is $200 fine, court cost, 6 months deferred adjudication, an anger management course, 15 CSR hours, and defendant is to have no harmful contact with the victim.
Questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge, we would just request any consideration be given towards the community service hours. And of course, follow the recommendation.
All right, is Ms. Fuentes, are you gainfully employed? Are you working at this time or work?
Yes, I work full-time.
All right, the court will waive the community service hours since you are gainfully employed, and I'll give you 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court costs. The court costs would have otherwise been due today in Stanter, ma'am, but I'll give you 90 days in which to pay that, okay? 3 months. All right, we do need a phone number. If I can get a phone number so that probation can contact you.
956-888-9433.
Thank you. Our intake department will call you in about 5 business days.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Garcia, then you and your client are both excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Do we need to take any nice eyes out on anyone? All right, let me check with the sheriff to see, do y'all have anybody that's still there that we need to address? I'm sorry.
Judge, yes, sir. We got about 9 more inmates that need to be seen.
Start off with the first one.
Barbosa Jorge.
That one was reset for February 22nd at 2 o'clock.
And I also have Gutierrez Vicente.
February 1st at 2 o'clock.
Aguilar Jorge.
February 1st at 2 o'clock.
Ortiz Adam.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Ortiz Adam.
Ortiz. All right, February 1st at 2 o'clock.
Reyes Orlando.
2-1 as well.
Santibáñez Juan.
2-1 at 2 o'clock.
Solis Cruz.
February 3rd at 2 o'clock.
Torres Abraham.
February 15th at 2 o'clock.
And Vela Jesus.
Jesus Vela, February 3rd at 2.
That's all we have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too, Honor.
I think that takes care of our docket.
Yeah, number 51, February 3rd. I don't know if you,
51 February 3rd.
2 p.m.
All right.